Welcome to Lesson 3 in Unit 16, Pinball Wizards. In this lesson, students will work to answer the question, why does the pinball always return to the bottom? In this lesson, students will continue to investigate forces and motion. They use cars and ramps to plan and conduct a hands-on investigation about the effects of the force of gravity. Students figure out that gravity is a force that pulls objects down. Students make connections to the storyline by connecting the force of gravity back to their pinball machines. There are several opportunities for ELA and math cross-curricular connections throughout the lesson. You can look for specific standard connections in the Unit 16 teacher guide. This lesson will take approximately 3 to 4 days to complete. To begin the engage portion of the lesson, you'll discuss what students have learned so far about balanced and unbalanced forces and let them know they're going to continue investigating to see if there are other forces at play in their pinball games. You'll hand out the pinball games from Lesson 1 and ask questions about playing the games flat on the table or on a tilt. You'll then revisit the driving question board. Add any new questions and highlight others connected to the learning goals of this lesson by calling attention to questions about gravity or forces that cause objects to be pulled downward. For the explore portion, you'll show students the toy cars, ramps, blocks, and measuring tapes they'll use for the ramp investigation. You'll ask them how they think they can use these materials to investigate what makes objects fall down. Pause the video here to see the materials needed from your MySci kit. Be sure to see the teacher tutorial slides showing the setup. They are linked in the teacher guide. Students will use the ramp investigation student journal page to record the distance of the car for each scenario. You can post and discuss the FAIR test vocabulary card and the variables vocabulary card. For the explain portion, you'll bring the class together and lead a discussion about students' observations from their ramp investigations. They can use the ramp investigation student journal page to share their data. Use the provided questions to guide your discussion around the question, why does the pinball always return to the bottom? The goal of this class discussion is to analyze student data and identify that the force of gravity pulls things downward. Create a class data table so that students can recognize patterns across each group's data. Use the discussion to create the Lesson 3 summary chart. By the end of the discussion, students should understand that their pinball machines need to be tilted so that the ball returns to the bottom of the machine. You'll then watch and discuss the Defining Gravity video. You'll pause the video at times to ask and answer questions. For the Elaborate portion, you'll have students get their Designing Pinball Machine student journal page from Lesson 1 and complete your summary chart discussion. You'll have students update their Designing Pinball Machine student journal page to show how gravity impacts the pinball machine. They should add more arrows to represent gravity. You'll have students share their drawing with a partner for an opportunity for peer feedback. For the Evaluate portion, you'll display the Ball Bounce Quick Check transfer task. You'll have students review the video and answer the questions in the Gravity Quick Check student journal page. To support student sense-making across the unit, you can orient students back to the driving question board. Ask, did we answer any of the questions on our driving question board? If there are questions that have been answered, you'll remove them from the driving question board and place them on the summary charts. You can use this as an opportunity to build a class consensus model to answer the section driving question, how does a pinball machine work? You'll ask students, what new questions do we have to add to our driving question board? What questions are you interested in answering next? You'll then have students complete the Section 1 summative assessment. By the end of this lesson, students will have planned an investigation to explain how the force of gravity affects an object's motion. In Lesson 4, students will ask questions about the effect of magnetic forces on objects. For more information about this unit, visit myscipartners.com.